The Crow of the Danube. In a small Hungarian village along the Danube, there lived an old woman named Margit who tended a modest garden behind her whitewashed cottage. Every morning, a clever crow would perch on her fence post, watching her work with bright, intelligent eyes. Margit paid the bird little mind at first, but the crow was persistent. It would caw softly, tilt its head, and follow her movements as she planted tomatoes and peppers. One day she tossed it a crust of bread. The crow snatched it up, flew to a nearby oak tree, and returned moments later with something glinting in its beak, a small silver button. Margit laughed. "A trade, is it?" She pocketed the button and went about her work. This became their ritual. Each morning, Margit would leave a small offering, bread, seeds, or apple cores, and the crow would return with trinkets, colorful pebbles, bits of ribbon, a tarnished coin. Margit collected these treasures in a wooden box, amused by her strange friendship. One autumn evening, Margit's grandson Victor arrived from Budapest. Troubled and silent, he'd lost his job and felt he'd disappointed his family. Margit listened patiently, then showed him the box of trinkets. "Do you see these?" she asked. "Each one worthless on its own, but together they tell a story of persistence and exchange. The crow brings what it can, and I accept it with gratitude. Neither of us judges the value, we simply honor the giving." Victor examined a smooth blue stone, turning it in his fingers. "What does this have to do with me? You think because you've stumbled? Trust that it has value." The next morning, Victor joined his grandmother in the garden. The crow appeared as usual, and Victor watched as it performed its ritual exchange. When the bird brought a red button this time, Victor smiled, his first genuine smile in weeks. Over the following days, Victor helped Margit prepare the garden for winter. He fixed her broken gate, repaired the cottage roof, and slowly began to see his own worth through simple, honest work. The crow watched it all, a silent witness to his transformation. On Victor's last morning in the village, he left an offering for the crow himself, a handful of walnuts. The bird cawed 3 times, as if in approval, then left a gift, a small, perfect feather. Victor kept that feather in his wallet as he returned to Budapest. It reminded him of what his grandmother taught him, that worth isn't measured by grand gestures or titles, but by the faithfulness of showing up each day with whatever you have to give. And in the village by the Danube, the crow continued its visits, and Margit continued filling her box with humble treasures.